What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Under the Green Hood. I am Chris Wacker, and I'm going to do something a little special for us all today. As you can tell by the title of this little vid, is spoilers. This is a giant spoiler-filled video. So, this video is for those who have seen Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War, or are never going to see it. Don't watch this. Do not continue watching this if you have not seen Avengers Infinity War. Okay? Don't watch any of this. If you are a fan of these comic movies that Marvel is doing, do not watch this video. Do not watch anything past what I am saying right now. Okay? Okay. Spoilers! I got a big page full of spoilers here I'm going to work my way through. Alright? So, welcome to my Avengers Infinity War spoiler-filled review. Also, you like the way I'm doing rocking the green hood today? It's it's too hot here in Kansas right now to to be wearing the full hood, so I thought I'd at least like my messed up Captain America shield shirt. All right, I got a lot of stuff to get to, so let me get to it. All right. Warning, spoilers. All right, check. All right, the movie, I'm not going to do like every single beat of the movie because the movie is almost exactly 3 hours long and there's a lot to talk about. I started writing things down more in order of like how they happen in the movie, but as I was writing, it got a little more crazy and hectic because there's just so many things to touch on. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. The movie starts on with the Asgardian ship being under attack by Thanos' ship. They don't really do much with Thanos' ship. For some reason, it just shows up at the I think it was at the end of the Guardians 2 movie. It shows up and it's this big, creepy, crazy ship. Anyway, they don't do anything on that ship really. It's attacking the ship. Some of it's been broken. It looks like half the ship is missing or whatever. But then it goes into the ship that the Asgardians had left on at the end of Thor Ragnarok. They're on the ship, and some of the people Thanos is already attacking. Him and his minions have already boarded the Asgardian ship and have started killing people. Like a lot of people are already dead. Opening scene, a lot of dead bodies just on the ship. As this character Ebony Maw is his name. They mention Maw in the movie, but for comic fans or anybody that would look it up, this character is named Ebony Maw, and he's like the harbinger, the herald, the something, the person that goes out and says, you know, like, you are all children of Thanos, you are blessed to have been fucking murdered by him. And and so he's like stepping over the dead bodies, and that's when you see Thor and Loki, and they're all battered and beaten, and there's so many like little moments and little things. But anyway, okay, so they're on the ship. Thor has already taken a beating. Loki's still doing okay, and he's like trying to make Thanos believe that he's still gonna work for him and shit. And he betrays Thanos pretty much immediately. He's walking up to him. He's gonna give him the Tesseract that he has stolen, and he hands it to him, puts it in the fucking in his gauntlet, and then he decides, I don't know if I got that backwards, but then he decides to try and stab Thanos with a knife. Great idea, Thanos' biggest weakness, small knives, and so he fails immediately and gets his neck broken and dies, hopefully for good this time. He had come back several times in the previous movies, and I'm done with him coming back. I'm okay if he stays dead. So Thor has been restrained by the telekinetic powers of Maw, Ebony Maw, the Squidward looking dude, and they actually call him Squidward, like when Iron Man's making fun of him later. But yeah, he's been restrained, and so he's like has to watch his brother die, and Heimdall is there, and he's gotten stabbed, or he's been beaten or something at that point. Man, I'm taking a lot of time on this one opening scene. Anyway, they bring in the Hulk. Loki says something cool. The Hulk jumps in and starts beating, just punching Thanos and fucking rocking his shit. Thanos isn't having any of that. He's already gotten the Power Stone, which I guess is the reason why he was able to stand up to the Hulk in that moment. I thought that he was already very, very strong, but maybe not Hulk level strong. I'm not 100%. But it looked like he had more like precision moves. Like it looked like Hulk is just kind of a big. He's all muscle, just going in for punches. And it seemed like Thanos was just kind of like just boom, pressure point, fucking jujitsu, like not beating the shit out of him, and just knocks Hulk the fuck out. Beats the fucking beats the fucking green out of his face. I said blue fucking Hulk, whatever. And so yeah, so then Heimdall uses the last of his abilities to send Hulk back to Earth. And then we see the ship exploding as Thanos and his crew are leaving. I really wish Korg was in this movie. Korg was really fun in the Ragnarok movie, and I was really kind of hoping he would at least have a little bit, like have a couple lines in this one. So we don't know if he's there or if he's dead or whatever. But I really like that rock guy Korg. I wish he was in it. So after that, there's barely time to breathe. They're back on Earth. Tony's talking to Pepper about their wedding or whatever the fuck, about having a kid or something, and he makes mention of his new chest plate thingy that he's just wearing over his normal clothes, and he says that it's a nanobite thing, like he's still wearing that thing just for protection. Anything could happen, and it's little nanobites or nanobots or whatever. They're just like little bits, so the suit just kind of just grows all around him with these little scaly nanobot things, which is cool. Anyway, yeah, no time to breathe. They as soon as Hulk lands, he's Doctor Strange and Iron Man have been talking and talking about the time stone and shit that's inside his necklace, his magical necklace. Hulk lands in the Sanctum Sanctorum fucking Sphincterville or whatever, and he's like, Thanos is coming. And they're like, what the fuck? Who's Thanos? What are we doing? And then all of a sudden, it's like everything's outside, like people are running and screaming, and it's like, holy shit, they're fucking here. Like we didn't no time to prepare or even think, and like they were like about to call Captain America, and he's like, I don't know if I should call him, and it's like they're fucking here already. And they came in this giant donut in the sky, which I don't know why it's a giant donut. There was only like 3 people on that ship, 3 or 4 people, and it's huge. It's a massive donut. Anyway, they're out there. They show up. They got big dude with his stretchy fucking hammer axe thingy, and so they have a little standoff scene with Wong and Doctor Strange doing their magic thing, trying to protect. And then that's the first time we see that Hulk can't come out. He won't come out. It's not working for Banner to try and bring him out. So he has to like go. They're like, just get him out of here if you're not going to bring the Hulk out. And then we see the Iron Man suit and all some of the new things that it can do. It's got these pieces that come out of the back and kind of like go around him, and they like form together into like this big laser like concussive blast thing. That's really cool. He's got a bunch of like new things that his suit can do, and it's really friggin' sweet. And I'll touch on that a little bit later also. I'm gonna take this off. It's fucking making me sweat. I can't be under the green hood anymore, you guys. It's hot. Oh, fucking the Ebony Maw character, the telekinetic dude. He's so cool in this. He was like picking up dudes with his mind and tossing them into walls, and like he's upside down like talking shit after he's like put you into I think Iron Man or no Doctor Strange. He puts him into a fucking wall and covers him in bricks, and he's just upside down, just talking shit in his face, like, "Oh, you're a fucking wizard. I bet like your powers are quaint. I bet the children love you." And he's just fucking, but like the other things that he can do, like he takes a bunch of bricks off the road and like twiddles them down with his mind and his fingers. He's just like, "Billy-doo-doo," and like all the bricks turn into like spikes, and he fucking throws them. And then the wizards fucking open a hole and it goes right back and it fucking hits him in the face. But he's like flying around like a fucking creepo, like flying through the city, like breaking shit with his mind and tossing stuff. And that character was way cooler than I thought he would be. So cool. Anyway, he gets a hold of Doctor Strange and heads up back to the ship. Spider-Man has a hold of him and is also going up with the ship because he was trying to protect him from getting kidnapped. And Iron Man also is going up after the ship. That's the scene that you see in the trailer, with the extra boost up to the ship. And that's also when we get to see Spider-Man wear the Iron Spider suit, the new Iron Spider suit, because he's flying up on the side of the ship, and he is he's running out of oxygen because they're getting way up in the atmosphere, like starting to leave up into space, and so he's starting to pass out. And Tony's like, "Hey, Veronica or Friday or whatever, like send out 17A, which is like this another thing that shoots up, and it turns out it's the fucking Iron Spider suit, and it grabs onto Spider-Man, and he flips and he grabs back onto the ship, and it's a really cool moment right there. So then they spend a little bit of time on the ship with Doctor Strange is being tortured so that he can get the time stone out of the eye of Gamma Gugus. And so yeah, it's this cool little torture scene thing where he's trying to get the thing. So Iron Man and Spider-Man in the Iron Spider suit are on the ship, and they're trying to find a way to save Doctor Strange. So they decide to. Spider-Man comes up with a plan from Alien, from the old movie Alien. I don't even remember which part he was talking about. I assume it's just he blasting the alien out of the side. Anyway, they cause a distraction or whatever. Tony blows a hole in the wall. Bad guy, Maul, gets sucked out. I thought he was going to come back, honestly. So I was like, this guy's too strong and awesome. They're not going to get rid of him so quick. But they did. He floats out into space and he's fucking icicles. And so then they're talking, and Doctor Strange... They're talking, and Doctor Strange says, like, if it comes to either one of you dying for the stone, I'm choosing the stone. Like, if it's between this or that, like it's the universe, saving the universe, or it's your lives, I'm choosing the universe. And so that plays back in a little bit later. Like I said, I'm going to be kind of jumping around because there were so many things to talk about and remember, so my notes are kind of jumbled. The Iron Spider suit has, I was wondering if they were going to do it. It has the big spider legs that come out of it, like from the comic when he wears the Iron Spider suit. It's got those big leg things. But I really like him. It's really cool that, like, they come out and just instinctively just help him, like, protect him and shit. And I thought that was really cool. But I was also thinking in the movie, like, in the Spider-Man Homecoming film, there is, like, a kill mode. Like, he can turn on a kill mode in his suit that's, like, instant death. And it's like, that really would have helped out in this movie. Like, I don't know, did they get rid of it or something? Because they didn't think he could handle it? I don't know, it seems like they could have used a little deadly Spider-Man kind of stuff. But it was really fucking cool. Very, very cool. They introduced the Guardians of the Galaxy on their ship, listening to some rad music, as they like to do. And they run into Thor. Thor splats on the windshield, and they bring him on the ship, and there's, like, some funny moments where, like, Quill is kind of jealous that everybody's kind of fawning over Thor, and, like, how handsome and built he is, and what a great man. And Drax is just, like, drooling over him and shit. And I also like that they toned down Drax's his humor a lot. I'm one of the people that did not like some of the humor in Guardians 2. It was just over the top to me, in my opinion, just too much. and he was at fault for that a lot. There's a lot of weird jokes that just didn't catch me. Anyway, they toned that down a little bit in this. Thor says he needs to go to this place called Mega to go get a new weapon that will be able to kill Thanos. And so he ends up taking Rocket and Groot with him. And Groot's an asshole in this. In the beginning, he's just on his game thing, and he's like, "I am Groot," and they're all like, "Whoa, what the fuck, dude?" And he's talking shit, and he's playing his game. Like, fuck that little adolescent Groot fucking asshole. Anyway, Rocket gives Thor a new eyeball that he smuggled out of someplace in his asshole, which they don't let him say completely out loud, but you can obviously tell that's what he's saying. I mean, it's very, very obvious that's what he's saying. Thor sticks it in, and he's like, "Yeah, you should have washed that." Anyway, so he gets his eyeball back, and I was thinking, like, in that moment, does he get the eyeball back because Chris Hemsworth doesn't want to wear the eye patch anymore? Or is it, was it a crowd thing? The audience in the previous movie didn't like that he was going to have an eye patch or something. Anyway, he gets his fucking eyeball back. And then they go to the place to get a new weapon. Turns out the Star Forge place has been shut down because Thanos went there, had his gauntlet built there, and then just shut the whole place down and killed everybody except for giant Peter Dinklage, the dwarf, the space dwarf. So Peter Dinklage is in this movie, and it's very comical and very strange, but I still kind of like it. Every line he delivers is like, it's like, "Well, I don't know about that, Thor." I don't know, whatever. I'm not doing it justice, but it's fucking weird. And he's a giant, like, he's a dwarf. He's like, "Yes, you're a dwarf," but he's fucking huge. He's like a giant fucking dwarf. And it's weird. Anyway, in order to make the new axe, Stormbreaker, they have to restart the forge. So Thor has to, like, go and open up this thing and take on the power of the star because something broke and he has to, like, hold it open. So he's holding open the gate, the hole where the fiery star energy is gonna fly through. So he's standing there and he's holding it open and he's just getting burnt to a fucking extra crispy fucking Asgardian bitch boy. and it's finally, he gets enough. They're able to start the forge and make the weapon. But Thor gets thrown, and he's on the ground, and he's all charred and everything, and Rocket, like, runs up to him and, like, touches him, like, "Are you okay?" And he's, like, still smoldering. I'm like, you were just in a star. Somebody can't just walk up and touch you. Like, Rocket would have burst into flames immediately if he touched him at that moment. Anyway, they don't have a handle for the thing, and for some reason, only Thor having that axe will bring him back to life, which is kind of odd. But anyway, Groot uses his arm as a handle and pulls the pieces of the axe together, chops off his arm. That's the new hammer. Brings Thor back to life, send him back to Earth. Meanwhile, on Earth, they're having the giant battle on Wakanda. Wakanda has their giant force field thing up over the whole country? I don't know. Giant barrier thing. Bad guys show up and have an army of, faceless goons. They look kind of like Venom. They look kind of like Venom monsters with multiple arms, and I don't know, they're really kind of cool looking. You don't get a super good look at them because there's a lot of action going on at that moment. And, they're just mindless hordes of things. They just needed a bunch of things to kill to be bad guy villains. What I thought was very odd was the barrier. Like, there's so many of these creatures that they're starting to force themselves through the barrier. I mean, they're killing themselves by trying. They're halfway through and they've been burned by the barrier and, like, getting cut off. But somehow, like, some of them are making it through, which doesn't really make sense to me. Because, like, there's a big thing, one of their big things falls down from space and it explodes at the top of the barrier. How are these organic creatures making their way through the barrier at all? I don't quite understand how that works. But anyway, whatever. That's a big cool fight scene, a big battle, but it's not as good as the battle that is taking place on on Titan. Tony decides to take the fight to Thanos. So him and the Guardians, him and Star-Lord and a couple of the others, and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange go to Titan to bring the fight to Thanos because they know he's going to be there. There's a scene where Nebula is being tortured that was kind of brutal. Being tortured in order to get Gamora to give up the info on where the Soul Stone is, which she does. Where they go to get the Soul Stone, you meet Red Skull as this, like, floating Grim Reaper wraith thing that is now, like, working for the stone. Apparently, when he touched the Tesseract, it sucked him. And that doesn't make any sense to me because the Tesseract wasn't even holding the Soul Stone. So, like, why would that have anything to do with the Soul Stone? Anyway, it sent him off there, and now he's like the fucking tour guide of and the information guy of, like, you know, how do you get the Soul Stone? Well, you have to give up the one thing that you love most in the world. And there's a little touching moment where they realize that he actually does love something, and it is his daughter Gamora, and she's right there. So he takes her and fucking throws her off the edge of a fucking cliff with tears in his eyes, and he gets the Soul Stone. It's a really cool, brutal moment. I didn't quite understand the Red Skull stuff all that much, but it was cool to see him anyway. The Wakanda fight was really, like, epic and big, and, you know, like, a lot more of the characters were there. But it was not as cool to me at all as the fight scene on Titan with Iron Man and Star-Lord and Drax and Mantis and Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, you get to see a lot of his abilities and, like, really cool stuff. I actually like him a lot more in this movie than I did in the in his movie, in Doctor Strange. I felt like it was a lot of magic on magic, a lot of, like, confusing visual stuff. I mean, it was a good movie, Doctor Strange was, but I liked him in this one. They showed him do some cool stuff. He does this thing where he, like, flips him, like he turns himself into a bunch of different hymns. Like, he splits himself into a bunch of different Doctor Strange men, and then, like, they all, like, lasso him with their magic lasso whip thingies and hold him there. And he does this weird thing where he, like, has, like, a bunch of arms, like a weird Buddha pose thing. I don't know. It's very cool stuff. He does a lot of interesting things in this one. And in Iron Man, his suit, it shows you some of the cool things the suit can do. He's like he's turning his arms into these big, like, battering ram things, and, like, taking his feet, turning into like an anchor to, like, hold his hand down, like when he's got Thanos down on the ground. It's so cool. It's like he does so many cool things, and he's like, at some point he's just getting beaten. The nanobots are like trying to reform his suit, but Thanos just keeps, like, knocking pieces of them off until, like, at some point he just can't. You know, they can't regrow. There's just not enough of those things to remake the suit. The only real problem I had with the CG was in the during the Wakanda battle. There was moments where you can see Bruce Banner's head sticking out of the Hulkbuster Iron Man suit. You can see his head sticking out, but it's, like, floating around weirdly. And it just, like, he's talking, and it just kind of looks fake. Like, the whole suit is just there, and it's solid, and he's just kind of like, hey, you guys, yeah. And it just looks kind of weird to me, and it kind of made me laugh. Speaking of laughs, I just watched it for the second time, and I had forgotten to mention this to my friends until earlier today. There's a moment earlier in the movie where War Machine, Don Cheadle's character, Rhodey, he meets the dudes, Captain America and the Black Widow and Falcon, and Vision is there, and Vision has been stabbed because of the previous battle that he had, and Don Cheadle sees him and he's like, "Oh man, it's good to see you guys. You look like crap." And the next scene is them cutting to Falcon and him saying, "Well, the hotels weren't 5-star." And in that moment, I'm like looking at Falcon's, like, perfectly trimmed beard and, like, nicely done hair and, like, fancy outfit, and I'm like, and then, like, next to him is, like, Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans, and I'm like, these people look fantastic. They look like they just walked out of, like, the makeup room in Hollywood. Like, they look like they've been living at 5-star hotels their whole life. and they just walked here on set from there. Like, what are you talking about? And Don Cheadle actually looks like crap in that scene, so he's talking shit. He's like, you guys look like crap. I was like, no, Don Cheadle, you look like crap, because he's all like, he looks all skinny, like he looks all skinny and emaciated and malnourished and shit in that scene, and and I just thought that was really funny. It's like these look like supermodels. What are you talking about? Like, you don't look like crap. Whatever. Like, Vision has a boo boo. And then Captain America's got a couple of tears in his perfect outfit. Thanos is freaking amazing in this movie. Like, Josh Brolin did a great job as that. I guess they were doing the motion capture thing with him, but, you know, all of his voice acting and everything. Like, everything was really, I mean, Thanos as a character, as a villain, is really, really well done. In the comics, he's a little more flat-out evil. He's just trying to eliminate half the universe because he wants to impress Lady Death. He's in love with Death, and he wants to, you know, her to like him, so he's going to kill half the universe. That's an evil thing to do for your own personal thing. But in the movie, Thanos is trying to save the universe. He knows that there's overpopulation and not enough to go around, and, you know, we're running out of resources, and so he's trying to save the universe from killing itself by eliminating half of it so that they can continue to live and stuff. And it's like, it's a relatable thing. Like, he's actually trying to do a good thing. All of his, like, backstory stuff is really amazing and good. There's a scene where Iron Man is fighting Thanos and has gotten stabbed. Like, Thanos, like, Tony, his Iron Man suit has this, like, sharp spear pokey thing that he's like, he tries to get him with, and Thanos breaks it off and fucking shoves it right through his stomach. And that's when he's like, I hope they remember you. Like, he's like, I respect you and whatever, and I hope the half of the world that is left still remembers you. And I'm like, this is the moment. This is when Iron Man's gonna die. And then Doctor Strange is like, don't kill him. I'll give you the fucking time stone. And I'm like, what are you doing? You just said earlier that, like, that was the thing. That was your big thing, is like, if it comes to them, you're not gonna give it up. But it does happen, and it does happen for a reason. And I realized that a little bit later when I was watching it. Because a little bit before that, Doctor Strange had been doing this, like, trance thing where he was looking into all the alternate futures that could possibly happen. And they ask him which one do we actually win? And he says one. Like, he's seen 14-some million futures, and there's only one where they actually come out on top and win. And I think that's it. He saw that was the only way. He saw that giving him the time stone was the only way for them to find a way to get back out of this mess and fix it all. The reality stone is amazing. I loved all the scenes where like Thanos is using the reality stone, and he's just doing all these interesting things. Like, there's a scene where Star-Lord is being forced to kill Gamora because she's about to be taken and give up, you know, hopefully not give up the info on where the Soul Stone is, but he finally gets the nerve, and he's like, okay, and he pulls the trigger, and Thanos has turned the fucking bullets into bubbles, and he says, it's little moments like that are like so fucked up. Like, Thanos is like, I like you, and then just takes her away. Like, he was waiting to see what he would do, and he pulled the trigger. Nothing but bubbles came out because he fucked with the reality stone. And he does some neat, like, trickery. There's a moment right before that where Drax is attacking, and he just uses the stone to just, like, cut him into cubes. Drax just falls into cubes on the ground. And then he does this shit to Mantis. He, like, turns her into he unravels her. Like, and turns her into a fucking slinky on the ground, and her eyes still moving like she's still alive. And I'm like, this is fucking sick. So once he gets the time stone, Thanos comes back to Earth. They have, thanks to the Scarlet Witch, they've pushed back, basically defeated the invading army of crazy creatures and minions, and Thanos comes back. In order for him not to get the Mind Stone that's in Vision's head, he has told the Scarlet Witch, I need you to destroy it. I need you to destroy it, whatever it takes. He's going to kill half the universe. You have to do this. And they're in love, but, you know, everybody knows that already. So, like, forcing a person to kill the person they love, basically. And she does what she has to do. She's keeping Thanos at bay with one hand and killing Vision with another. and he, boom, he goes boom. Vision goes boom. And that's it. Thanos, just kidding. Thanos, I knew this was going to happen too, but I thought he was just going to, he uses the goddamn time stone to bring the Vision back into a person after he's exploded. He brings him back, and I thought he was just going to, like, take the bits. I thought it was going to be like a Reality Stone thing where he was just going to take the bits that were left and just bring the bits of the stone back together. But he brings the Vision back to life and then fucking rips it out of his head. And, like, it show his head being crushed in as he's grabbing the stone out of it. So he's fucking gone. He's dead. Then he's got all the stones, and there's nothing left to do. He does it. He does it. He does it. So then things are very eerily quiet. And then people start fading away. And boom. Boom. There goes. I'm gonna name as many as I can remember. Poof. Into ash. Black Panther. Scarlet Witch. Fucking Falcon. I'm pretty sure Falcon. Fucking Drax. Fucking Star-Lord. Spider-Man. There's a moment that really kicked my ass when I was watching that because they gave a little bit of extra time to the Spider-Man moment. And Spider-Man, Peter Parker's just there and he's talking to Tony and he's like, I don't feel so good. And he's like, I don't want to die. I don't want to go. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. And he's fading away and he's just... It's so sad. It's so well done and sad. So many other people. A bunch of the Wakanda people. Basically everybody fucking fades into ash except for, like, obviously a bunch of, humans that we don't see. And the original crew, the original Avengers are the ones that are left. Captain America, Banner's still there, Thor's still there, Scarlet Witch is still there, and whoever else. The Tony Stark. And they're the ones left. And they're gonna have to figure out what to do. After the credits, there's only one end credits scene, and it is all the way after all of the credits. And that's when you see what's-her-face that's assistant to Nick Fury fading away into ash. And then you see Nick Fury, and he's like, oh, fuck, he sees what's going on, and he sends out a message on his weird-looking space pager beeper thing, and then he starts fading away, and he's like, it's like, oh, motherfucker, and then he drops the thing. But guess what's on the thing? It's a little symbol. It's a little symbol that some of us know means Captain Marvel. So, Captain Marvel. She's coming. I don't know how. I don't know when. I actually heard a theory before this that made sense to me, and it sounds like it's kind of what's going to happen. Ant-Man and Hawkeye are not in this movie, and I think there is more than one reason for that. But the theory was that Ant-Man, somehow in their, I think in the quest for them to save Pym's wife from the quantum realm, they managed to slip through time and get Captain Marvel. This is it's a theory, and it sounds like it might happen. Like somehow they manipulate time or something. Somehow they come across Captain Marvel, and she's gonna help them save the world or whatever. Also, the gauntlet, as soon as he snaps his fingers and gets his fucking way, the gauntlet looks like it's torn up, like it can't be used anymore. So I don't know, and the stones look like they've lost some power. They're not all sparkly or anything. So I don't even know if he's going to be able to continue using the gauntlet in the future. Unless he's got a spare. I'm gonna make fucking giant dwarf Dinklage. Make him another one. Well, that was as much as I can talk about and get through within a reasonable time period. I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff. I loved this film very, very much, and I would definitely recommend it to anybody. I wonder about small children, how they would react to this. I know there have been in the theaters that I was in that there was a lot of kids in there. I heard people crying. I don't know how many of those were children, but I don't know if I'd recommend it for children. But if you got some tough kids, yeah, kids that aren't big pussies like me, yeah, they'd probably enjoy it, I guess. Watching all of their favorite heroes fade into dust. Or just be brutally murdered by a giant fucking raisin man. It's a great movie. Go check it out. I really appreciate you guys watching, and keep tuning in, and we'll keep cranking out stuff for you to watch and whatever. So, peace out, dudes.